Rory Gilmore is known for being a bookworm, a coffee addict, a fast talker, and the apple of many a hot guy's eyes. There have been a lot of debates over who was the best suited boyfriend for Rory over the years. A lot of Team Jess, Team Logan, even Team Dean's out there. I am here to give my hot take as a self-proclaimed expert on all things Gilmore Girls. This is the unofficial ranking of Rory Gilmore's love interests. But first, please make sure to hit the subscribe button to follow more Gilmore Girls movie and TV related content. So up first, in last place, we have Paul. It's not his fault. This is actually pretty much all Rory's fault. This relationship was never meant to last, and I don't think it should have even started. Poor Paul is clueless over the fact that not only is his girlfriend cheating on him, but she regularly forgets that he even exists.
Paul, my boyfriend? Oh, crap, Paul is here.
Why is Paul here?
I invited him for dinner, and I totally forgot. Crap.
No one deserves that type of hurt, and I am Team Paul in this relationship. In fifth place, we have bad boy Tristan DeGray. My friend once told me in high school that there is nothing more attractive than a confident man displaying a dash of vulnerability, and were we ever robbed of something so great? There was so much potential in this field. We could have had a bad boy turned good story arc for Tristan, and we all know that if it hadn't been for One Tree Hill and our man Chad leaving the show, we could have had something pretty special. Oh well, it did make room for another character. In fourth place, we have Marty. Okay, I know technically Marty isn't a love interest, at least from Rory's side, but I really did like him. When we were introduced to Marty, he just seemed like the down-to-earth sweet guy Rory needed. In the midst of all the chaotic romantic drama she was in the middle of, first Jess leaving her and then having an affair with the married Dean, sweet dorky Marty seemed like the perfect person to add normalcy into her life. However, as usual, Rory has a taste for adventure, something more risky, and went with Logan instead, leaving our poor Marty rejected. Now, I don't know if it's because of the absence of the Paladinos for this weird story arc with Marty in season 7 or not, but his character seriously went south. He just turned really weird, which wasn't the same vibe we got in the previous seasons. He pretends he doesn't know Rory despite her being his girlfriend's friend, and then gives her this really loaded, creepy compliment. So because of this, we have to leave Marty in fourth place. Third place, Dean Forrester. I can go on and on about how much I dislike Dean. I'm not saying it's all his fault for what went down, but there were signs from season 1 that he is just not a good boyfriend. At least what I think constitutes a not good boyfriend. For argument's sake though, I want to talk about the good points he had going on for him, and then I'll get into the bad. So he's probably the biggest Gilmore Girls expert. Seriously, he could probably write a how-to book on the inner workings of Lorelai and Rory.
You have much knowledge.
That shows that he really did know Rory, or at least loved getting to know her through and through. Almost in a obsessive kind of way though. He did say this the very first time they met, which kind of gives me fanfiction vibes.
Well, I've been watching you.
Watching me?
Which makes me think about that whole Dobler-Dahmer theory from How I Met Your Mother, which is if someone said the exact same thing but you weren't into him, it definitely would have come out as super weird and creepy. But thankfully for him, Rory really digged it. But aside from being fascinated with her life and mom, Dean throws temper tantrums that I just can't stand. He throws such a fit when Rory isn't quick to say I love you back, to the point that they break up over it. Excuse me, how do you love somebody but get that angry when they don't say it back, especially when they are trying to make you understand that it's a big deal for them? Now this comes before any of Rory's lying and cheating, so there's really no excuse. This was all on Dean. I also don't like the way he talks to Richard. Yes, Richard gave him a very difficult time, but still this is your girlfriend's grandfather, and you're gonna flare your nostrils and talk to him like that? Red flag. Okay, when Jess comes over and has dinner at Rory's house while her mom's away, yeah, understandably, Dean is allowed to be jealous and upset. Those are acceptable and normal emotions. But to react again so quickly, he flies off the handle and starts yelling at her, despite having Paris right there. It just does not sit right with me. I don't like being yelled at by anyone, and it sure as hell isn't going to be from my boyfriend. And lastly, the creme de la creme, he is married to Lindsay and convinces Rory that the marriage is over. Well, it might have been over in his head, but definitely not for Lindsay, who is desperately trying to make it work. And then right after cheating on his wife, he has the audacity to come home and yell at her. This guy. You know what? I think I want to switch him with Marty. There. In second place, we have Logan. Now, disclaimer, I'm not into him. But this is what we have to work with, people. Logan is arrogant, I don't like the way he treats people when he is insulted or feeling threatened. I don't like the way he didn't understand why Rory would be upset that he slept with so many women while she thought that they were just on a break. He had to convince her that in his head he did nothing wrong, that's why it's okay, instead of him taking the time to understand that it would hurt her. I didn't like the way he treated Marty at all. And he also has a habit of shouting at Rory. I don't like the kind of person Rory became as a result of being in this relationship, although that I can't blame on him entirely. He's insecure, jealous, arrogant, and most likely a narcissist. I have not seen his vulnerable side, so definitely not attractive. Oh, and then he makes her his side chick in A Year in the Life. Definitely not for me. Now, I realized I just only talk smack about Logan, but there are some good qualities, and here's why he's our number 2. Logan pushes her to be adventurous. We know that this is exactly the type of person Rory is attracted to, and he seems like the perfect guy to do the job. Logan is there for Rory. We saw this when Richard was hospitalized. Logan was really there for Rory and her family. And I have to admit, they do have chemistry together, and it doesn't hurt that Rory and him have shared experiences, such as coming from respectable and demanding families and going to Yale. I feel as much as there is good in this relationship, there was definitely bad. So, drum roll please. To no one's surprise, I am Team Jess. Yes, I know Jess had a lot of issues, but let's take a look at his relationship with Rory. First off, there's just a crazy amount of chemistry between Jess and Rory from the start. Jess even said so himself, he knew that he was in love with Rory from the first time he saw her. Jess and Rory have so much in common and have a lot of the same interests. He is supportive of her dreams from the start till the end, and he pushed Rory to be her best self, whereas Logan led her to her worst. In this scenario where Rory and Dean were seen hanging out at Miss Patty's while she's dating Jess, if the roles were reversed and it was Dean finding out Rory was hanging out with Jess, we all know he would have flipped his lid. But Jess handles it so calmly and asks her to let him know when these things happen instead of keeping it from him. Now, I know he isn't flawless. I'm talking about him yelling at Rory at Kyle's party and then leaving Stars Hollow without even saying goodbye. As we know, he had a lot of internal struggles and didn't know how to communicate his problems with Rory, effectively destroying their relationship. However, he redeems himself years later. He is the reason why Rory goes back to Yale.
Why did you drop out of Yale?
And in the Year in the Life, he's the reason she writes her book. I think he's the only one who truly loves Rory for exactly who she is, cares about her, and wants the best for her. You can tell he regrets how the relationship ended and has been pining for Rory for at least 15 years. That's a long time. Hopefully, in the Gilmore Girls universe, they do eventually reunite. So what do you think? Which boyfriend do you think was the best Gilmore Girls guy? Or do you think Rory deserves better? Or maybe she deserved worse? Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more movie and TV related content. Thanks for watching. Bye!